and someone's using my image to relate me to this case, which is absolutely disgusting.
Imagine this: a young man battling stage 4 cancer finally sees hope. After weeks of effort, he raises enough money to begin life-saving treatment. But in just a few minutes, that hope is stolen. And while he's left heartbroken, someone else is out celebrating, bragging with flashy cars and TikTok dances. This isn't just another internet story. It's about trust, survival, and how quickly kindness can be twisted into cruelty. His name is Raivo Plavniks, aka Rastalan TV. He's a streamer, but more importantly, he's a man in the fight of his life. Doctors told him he has stage 4 sarcoma, a cancer that spreads fast and leaves little time. The treatment costs were overwhelming, tens of thousands of dollars that he didn't have. What would you do if someone in your family needed life-saving treatment, but the cost was more than you could ever imagine? Raivo turned to his community. He set up live streams where people could tune in, cheer him on, and donate to his cause. Slowly but surely, the money began to build up. In just a short time, he managed to raise around $30,000. That's not just numbers. It meant the possibility of extending his life. You could see it in his face. He was exhausted but hopeful. But then came a moment that would crush him and the people supporting him. During one of his streams, someone suggested a new game called Block Blasters. On the surface, it looked harmless, just a simple little platformer, free to play, easy to download. But behind the bright colors and playful design, there was something far darker. The game wasn't really a game. It carried hidden code designed to steal. Think of it like inviting a stranger into your house to play cards, and while you're distracted, they quietly copy your keys and clean out your savings. That's exactly what this program did. It reached into Raivo's digital wallet and drained nearly every dollar he had raised. And he wasn't alone. Reports later showed this same game took over $150,000 from hundreds of unsuspecting people before it was pulled down. Isn't it just straight up evil how the people who come up with these scams never think about the lives they're destroying? To them, it's just numbers on a screen. They don't see the faces, the families, or the struggles behind every dollar. And that's what makes it so heartless. They celebrate while someone else breaks down in tears. The moment it happened was brutal. Raivo sat there on camera, expecting his fundraising total to keep climbing. Instead, the numbers dropped. His wallet balance, once full of hope, was suddenly empty. He tried to stay composed, but the shock broke through. You could hear his voice tremble, see his face sink. For a man fighting stage 4 cancer, losing that money wasn't just about dollars. It was about time. It was about the chance to keep going. What would go through your mind if you were watching this live, seeing a man's hope drain away in real time? Viewers who had cheered him on felt the same heartbreak. Many were in disbelief. How could someone do this to a man raising money for his life? The live chat turned from excitement to outrage in seconds. And that outrage sparked something bigger. People wanted to know who was behind this. Online investigators started digging. Reports say the game wasn't just draining wallets. It was funneling all that stolen data into a Telegram channel, a messaging app where the thieves could see everything coming in. The problem? The thieves weren't careful. According to security accounts, their own credentials were left exposed. That slip gave investigators a trail to follow. From there, a picture began to form. Allegedly, some of the accounts tied back to a self-proclaimed influencer, an Argentinian TikTok and Instagram personality said to be living in Miami. His name appeared in posts as Valentin Lopez. Online, he was known for flashy cars, motivational captions, and videos flexing designer watches. What fueled the fire was the timing. Rumors spread that on the very night Raivo's money vanished, this same influencer was out celebrating at a club. Screenshots and re-uploaded TikToks began circulating. It was enough for many to believe they had found the villain of the story. Have you noticed how often the loudest show-offs online are the ones hiding the ugliest secrets? And here's the part that made people the angriest. While a man battling cancer was left in tears, someone else was allegedly popping champagne and laughing it up. Even if it wasn't targeted at Raivo personally, the idea that someone could knowingly profit from that kind of pain is hard to stomach. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about stealing dollars from strangers on the internet. It's about robbing people of trust. People gave because they believed they were helping save a life. And then, just like that, all of it was ripped away. That makes these actions more than dishonest. It makes them cruel. But to be clear, this is still alleged. Some reports say Lopez denied any involvement, telling a tech educator that his name and photos were being misused.
Just woke up with this horrible news. Probably you guys know what happened. Absolutely disgusting and making me sick to my stomach. And someone's using my image to relate me to this case, which is absolutely disgusting. So yeah, people calling me and stuff. That's why I'm making this video. And yeah, just I wouldn't wish that to anyone.
Others noted his social media accounts were suddenly deleted once the allegations spread, which only added to the speculation. Whether guilty or not, the internet had already put a face to the outrage. And when you put together the timing, the screenshots, and the image of a TikTok influencer flaunting wealth while a cancer patient sat heartbroken, it's no wonder the story spread like wildfire. But just when it seemed Raivo's fight had hit a dead end, something remarkable happened. Out of nowhere, a well-known crypto creator named Alex Becker stepped in. He sent Raivo the full amount, around $32,000, to replace what was stolen. Proof of the transfer was shared, and the relief on Raivo's face was unmistakable. The kindness didn't stop there. Once Raivo set up a brand new safe wallet, others in the community pitched in again. Donations poured back in, and for the first time since that heartbreaking stream, he had reason to smile. Meanwhile, Steam removed the game completely, scrubbing it from their store after news broke that hundreds of people had been tricked. It wasn't enough to erase the damage, but at least the scheme had been shut down. Still, for Raivo and the people who rallied behind him, the real victory was seeing compassion outweigh cruelty, even if just for a moment. Raivo's story made headlines, but he wasn't the only one. Reports say the Blockblaster's scam drained over $150,000 from hundreds of people before the game was pulled down. Not everyone had someone like Alex Becker to step in and replace what they lost. For many, the money is just gone. And that's the hardest part. These weren't millionaires losing spare change. They were everyday people, viewers, fans, folks just trying to support someone in need. Some gave what little they could, only to see it disappear into the pockets of alleged scammers. For anyone watching, the lesson is painfully simple. Don't trust every link, every download, or every smooth-talking stranger on the internet, especially when money or health is involved. If something feels rushed or too good to be true, it's worth stopping and thinking twice. If this could happen to a man fighting cancer, who else out there is at risk right now? Would you know how to spot a scam like this if it was happening to someone you care about? The platform eventually removed the game, and investigators are still reviewing who's responsible. But what sticks with people isn't just the technical details, it's the image of a cancer patient crushed on camera while someone else allegedly celebrated with champagne. When you strip the story down, it's not just about money, it's about character. On one side, you have a man fighting for his life, willing to put his pride aside and ask strangers for help. On the other, you have people who built a scheme that preyed on anyone unlucky enough to trust it. They didn't care if it was gamers, casual stream viewers, or even a cancer patient trying to stay alive. And while the alleged thief may have celebrated with bottles and flashing lights, it's the kindness that people will remember. Because for every act of cruelty, there always seems to be someone ready to fight back with compassion. That's what Alex Becker did. That's what the community did. They proved that even when hope is stolen, it can be rebuilt. It also raises a bigger question we should all think about. How much trust do we place in the things we download, the people we follow, or the platforms we use? For many of us, the internet feels like background noise, but stories like this remind us that one careless moment can change everything. Still, technology isn't the real villain here. People are. A program is just a tool, but it takes a human being to decide whether to use it for good or for harm.